Namaste, Vidya Bhaskar ji. Thank you for joining me on this new series. This new series is called Dharma and Veganism. Now, Vidya Bhaskar ji, before we actually go into what Dharma and Veganism means, if you can just very briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hari Om and Namaste, of course. So my name is Acharya Vidya Bhaskar, and I am a Sanskrit scholar who has spent the better part of his life studying the scriptures. From the age of 12, I had the great honor to study in Rishikesh in Sri Kailas Ashram, which is a very traditional monastery and can be compared to the Cambridge of Sanskrit institutions. So I spent approximately 5.5 years studying Sanskrit in the traditional way. And then, of course, after completing the curriculum, I continued with my own Sanskrit studies, as well as a master's in comparative religion from a Swiss university, and also then did a PhD course in organizational psychology and cultural studies. This gave me a very vast purview, so to speak, of different fields of thought, ideologies, concepts, outlooks of society. And all this puts me in the position, perhaps into the humble role of someone who can be a consultant to you when it comes to the dharmic views on veganism, ahimsa, which means non-injury, compassion, karuna, daya for all beings.
Thank you, Vidya Bhaskar ji, and for that I'm very, very grateful. We basically have decided that we're going to be recording some very short parts for this series, and it will go like part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. And just for the purposes of this introduction, when we were discussing this series, you came up with the very apt title, Dharma and Veganism. Could you very briefly tell our viewers or share with our viewers why you actually thought that that title would be apt for this series, and then we can then in the next part talk about other topics, and if, by the way, if viewers have any suggestions or any topics that you would like us to discuss, please do send those in to me. So Vidya Bhaskar ji, why did you come up with the title Dharma and Veganism? How do the two even go together?
Very simple. The word dharma is derived from the root dhrit dharani, to sustain, dhrit, to sustain. Therefore, dharma very literally means sustaining, or if you like, sustainability in the 21st century vocabulary. And the definition of dharma is thus in the ancient Vedic scriptures. This is from the Vaisheshika Sutra 1, 2. So it is the second sutra. Yata abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhihi sa dharma. That is dharma, sustainability, which accomplishes both all-round well-being of the world and beings, creatures, as well as your own liberation. Two things, therefore. All-round well-being, which, Dinaji, includes the well-being of animals. Animals and humans exist in a sahabhava, coexistence. Krishna says in the Gita, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. someone who adheres to dharma is committed to the well-being of all beings, of any being that has life, prani, any being that has life breath. And not only breath, even, Dinaji, a tree, life sap, not only breath, anything that is alive is the object of our utmost compassion in Sanatana Dharma, eternal Dharma. And only that all-round goodness, only that all-round compassion leads to the second aspect of Dharma, which is inner freedom, inner liberation, inner bliss. Why, Dinaji? It is very simple. How can you be innerly free if you aren't kind to each and all?
Fascinating. That's really fascinating. Thank you, Vidya Bhaskar-ji. That really does just show how modern day veganism, as we understand it, about kindness to animals, but it applies to every single being. And as practitioners of Hindu Dharma, how our dharmic practice, the journey of Dharma, is really quite interrelated to veganism as we understand it, because if it means this oneness with all beings, then we cannot negate what that means in our current day-to-day lives.
Dinaji, all the ancient Hindu sages were vegans in the forest. Mahavira was a vegan, the founder of Jainism. Buddha was a vegan, the founder of Buddhism. In the Dirgha Nikaya, Buddha said, he describes in detail what he ate. He didn't even pluck a fruit from the tree. He waited for fruits to fall of their own accord. He only drank water. So Dinaji, anyone who thinks differently about the Buddha or Mahavira or other Hindu sages, or let us say Dharma sages, because you see, when we say only Hindu, then sometimes we alienate others, but Sanatana Dharma is really a term that also includes Buddhism and Jainism. The Buddha uses the term Sanatana Dharma. He says that cruelties do not end by being more cruel. They end by stopping to be cruel. That is Sanatana Dharma. The verse goes like this: Nahi vairena vairani shamyanti hakadachana avairena tu shamyanti esha dharma sanatana. That is what the Buddha said. This is the quote. So you see, Dinaji, when I say dharma, Sanatana Dharma, I mean Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism as one universal dharma.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Vidya Bhaskar-ji. To the viewers out there, our next part, our part 2, we are going to be discussing how the COVID-19 situation, as dharmic practitioners, what do we have to learn with the current situation? So we're going to be discussing that in part 2 next time. Please do subscribe to my channel, Spiritually Vegan, and you can follow me on Facebook as well, Dina Hearn. Once again, thank you for that, Vidya Bhaskar-ji, and we shall see you next time. Hari Om.
Hari Om, thank you.
Thank you.